Welcome to another episode of Straight Like That, the podcast hosted by me, Camille. Today we've got Jaclyn Sawicki on for an episode. What's going on, Jaclyn? How are you?
I'm good, Camille. How are you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Well, first, let's shout out the sponsors. Tasty Mates, a gourmet gummy suite based in London, England. Organically made gummies that come in a few different flavors. They just recently put out a new passion fruit flavor. So be sure to check them out. Link in bio for that. And Club DS. Club DS is a streetwear brand based out of Los Angeles. The word diez means the number 10 in Spanish. And the number 10 in soccer is always the player that brings the most joy, creativity, and takes risks. Inspired by their Mexican roots and the number 10 in the beautiful game, Club DS created the mantra of Siempre con alegría, which translates to always with joy. The message of the brand stems deep in the Los Angeles community, and the aim is to spread this message to other communities around the world. The mission is to remind people that no matter what you're going through, do it with joy. Life is full of ups and downs, but you will always be able to overcome any obstacle. A little bit of positivity, faith, and joy will go a long way. Siempre con alegría. Let's get straight to it. Why football? How'd you get into the sport?
Yeah, I think it's just one of the sports that my mom put me in. My first two sports were actually dance and soccer. Dance even more so than soccer. I started that a year before. And those two just kind of stuck for a long time.
Okay. And you started playing when?
Seven, I believe.
Okay. And you were just
Years
playing like a
ago.
little rec league, kind of like stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it started with just soccer camps, and then I was really enjoying that. I was a really, really shy kid, so I think she was really trying to like get me out of my shell. And being in that team environment helped a little bit. And then once like I did a few camps, I joined just like a local like house team, and just went from there.
Okay. And where in Canada was this? What town were you raised in?
Yeah, I grew up in Coquitlam, British Columbia, like 40 minutes outside of Vancouver.
Okay. And what's the soccer scene like over there?
Um, I mean, back then it was definitely growing.
Hmm.
I practiced on gravel like pretty much my whole development. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm kind of old, so um
Gravel. So how was that? How was playing on gravel?
yeah, I mean when you're a kid, I think you don't really like think about these things, like
Yeah.
how bad it was, but from like a technical development perspective, I actually think it helped a lot, like with first touch and just figuring out the bounce or lack of bounce. It's really unpredictable to play on those surfaces. But when I think about it now, it's just such a strange thing that we'd be wearing like full-on cleats on that kind of surface.
Yeah, that's a little dangerous, but it made you a
Yeah.
better player, huh?
And then when you're falling and stuff, it's like those, it's not fun.
It builds character.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah. So you said you were playing camps and then you joined the league. While playing in that league, did you kind of find, you are probably better than some of these kids? Were you struggling?
I don't think better. Um, I would say maybe the same level. I don't really remember, to be honest. It was, when you're young and you like rotate, everyone's playing
Hmm.
all the positions, everyone's going in net as well. I think I just kind of progressed at like a normal rate. I didn't really notice myself being better or worse particularly. Yeah.
Okay. So when did you realize, okay, like I'm pretty good at this game and I want to take this like a little bit more serious?
Hmm. Um, yeah, maybe like and I don't know if it was this was again, I don't think this was like an individual reflection. I think my coach, my club coach at the time was like, "Oh, you should like told my mom you should get her to try out for the provincial team," which is what like the highest level would have been at the time, and that was
Mm.
only during the summers. So you'd play club, and then in the summer, the high performance players would continue their development in the summers before they rejoin club again. Um, and then the first time I went to try out, I didn't make that team. That was like U12. And then I was kind of like discouraged by that, so I just didn't want to try out again the following year. But then my coach was like, "No, you like I used to play striker and I guess I scored a lot of goals that season." And he was
Mhm.
like, no, like you need to try out. And I was like, like didn't want to like go and like get cut again. So this was U13, but then I went, and then I ended up making the team, and then I made the provincial team every single year until youth was over.
So you were doing that in the summer when club season was over, and then back with club in the fall, winter, and spring.
Correct. Yes.
So
Yeah.
what was the difference between that summer league and team that you were on versus the club all the other months?
Well, the schedule was much more intense. And then it was like all the best players of that province were together. So I guess being in that environment for the first time, I wasn't really used to the discipline and the structure because the coaches work quite hard at us at a very young age. Like you learn that professional standard, like you all need to be kitted the same. And then there's like different days to wear different things, like just even like managing myself and like really trying to organize like where I need to be, what I need to do at that time. Like technology was up and coming, and my parents being immigrants were really like technology was not happening. So I would be at 12, like managing all the emails that were coming in from the teams, and I'd have to like tell my mom where I had to be, what time I had to be at, and like just yeah, learning like all of that at a really young age like really helped me as well once I moved out and played my university career.
Okay, so when you were in middle school, did you play on like a middle school team? Did y'all have that over there?
So I actually didn't go to middle school. I did
Okay.
elementary school all the way up into grade 7, and then from grade 8 to 12, I jumped right into high school.
Hmm.
I also, yeah, played for my school at the time as well.
Did you notice a difference between school and club?
Yeah, I'd say school was really, really bad level. However, my high school in particular, I don't know what it was about that school, but like the soccer program was quite strong there. We had a lot of players that went to that school that actually played at a club level or were like on provincial team or were really like sports specific in soccer. So our soccer team was quite good, but when we'd play other teams, like a lot of those games were like big blowout games.
Damn. Yeah, because I've
Yeah.
always been curious on what like the school soccer season's like in Canada.
Yeah, it's a shorter season. The men's school program would be like at the beginning of your club season, whereas we would play volleyball while the men were playing their soccer season. Then
Mm.
you play basketball at the same time, and then the girls would play their soccer season more towards the end of the school year.
Okay, I got you. And were you playing anything else, or were you just playing soccer for school and club?
I did soccer, I did volleyball and basketball at school as well.
Okay, athletic.
Maybe. Somewhat.
Did you ever think about like taking another sport serious, or were you just so in love with the game?
I think dance was like the only other consideration.
Okay.
I think I was always pretty realistic too, like volleyball and basketball. I'm like 5'2", so that probably was never going to happen. I really did love basketball though. Like I played all until grade 12. But I knew like it just that wasn't going to be like the push for me in that sport.
Yeah. So how did you get into university with the game? So how does like the recruiting process work in Canada during the high school level?
Yeah, so there's a lot of tournaments that teams can join, like the Surf Cup in San Diego was a big one. During my last 2 years of high school, I became like a full-time Whitecaps player, and that was supposed to be like the elite team. So I stopped playing. That essentially became my new club. So I stopped
Okay.
playing for those, all those girls stopped playing for their local club that they had represented like during those provincial team years. Um, so that was a team of 18, and a lot of the games that we played, schools were coming to us, both NCAA and U Sports schools.
Okay.
So most of the times that we were playing, it was an opportunity to get recruited because schools from the outside knew that this was supposed to be the best players of the province within grade 11 and grade 12 years. So yeah, that's kind of how it worked was just we just went to tournaments, we played women's teams, and just got recruited from there.
So how did you get into that team, the Whitecaps team?
I think like similar process, like during your last year of club would have been U16 at the time. The system's much different now, but back when I
Hmm.
was developing, um, you would just have to get recruited during that year, and get called in. I can't remember if there was like a trial process, but from my memory, like your U16 provincial team year, would have been like your last chance to kind of show.
Okay.
Club year, yeah, and then from there they like made the team. There might have been maybe the first couple weeks of like inviting other players in to get seen and to trial, but from my memory, it's like an invite that you get.
Okay. So you got invited, you were playing. How was, the conversation with different coaches from different universities? And was it a goal for you to stay in Canada and play, or did you want to come to the US too?
Yeah, I think so. Originally, my goal was like, I need to get out of here. I'm going to the NCAA.
Okay.
And over like my two senior years, like I think my perspective on the sport really changed. Um, I started to like have this like I don't care about anything like attitude when I got older as a teenager, if I'm being completely honest. And I like started to get interest in other things. Like I really like fashion and I was thinking about going down that avenue and maybe like staying in Vancouver and going to fashion school. Um, yeah, I kind of like played with a lot of different ideas in my mind. But I was also talking to NCAA schools. But because I took so long to like figure out what I really wanted to do, I think I slowly learned that maybe I didn't want to move so far away from home, and decided I still want to move away, but like be close enough that I can come back home on a weekend if I really needed to, and really wanted like the balance of social and sport. So that's how I ended up at the University of Victoria, which is in the same province, but it's far away enough that my mom can't just like show up.
Yeah, because I feel like, because I kind of relate to that when you're young and you're like, I want to get, far away from here, opposite side of the country or whatever.
Yeah.
Then when it comes time to like really maybe do it, you get a little scared, you're like, it might be a little too far. Maybe it's better off if I'm kind of,
Yeah.
closer, but not that close.
Yeah, I think like my mindset too, I'm like, why am I moving so far away from home if I'm not really sure if like soccer is something I really want to pursue?
Hmm.
But at that time, like because I was in that high performance environment, I was like, I want to like take advantage of the fact that I can get a scholarship and like play and do my schooling, but I want to also like really experience like that university social lifestyle. And I had heard so many good things about UVic from that aspect, so that's why I ended up doing that. And I felt like it was like the best of both worlds.
Okay, so how was your time like over there? From, the end of your high school year going into your freshman, right? I'll call it freshman year and sophomore year.
Yeah, we call it rookie, but yeah, same
Okay,
thing.
so
Yeah.
same thing. So what was that kind of transition like?
It was really easy, actually. I think the hardest part for me was maybe managing my studies because I'm just don't really, I've never like cared so much about my school. So, or like how I did in school. So that was probably the hardest part. But in terms of like, I got a lot of minutes as a rookie, which was great.
Mhm.
Like made friends pretty quickly, like really liked my team. So that transition was pretty easy. Um, yeah. In terms of like moving and all that stuff, like I said, it wasn't crazy far away. So I did have like my parents' help at first. And yeah, it was, I'd say overall, like a good transition.
So a smooth transition, you're starting, you're playing a lot. What was like the rest of your time like over there? Were you playing the same amount as your rookie season?
Yeah, I played a lot. I played a lot during my university. I think I started every single game for 5 years, if I'm remembering that
Damn.
correct.
And you
Yeah.
you were there for 5 years?
5 years. The only games I didn't appear in were if I was away at national team camp.
Wow. Okay, let's get into that then. So you're over there, you're playing a lot. Obviously you're playing well because you're playing a lot.
Well, I think I just the timing of me entering as a rookie was really lucky because they were about to experience a building year where all the vets were graduating. So my year had about like 12 rookies. And so it just opened up a lot of spots. So I think also like timing was just, I was really fortunate and I was lucky, to be honest. I think if I'd come maybe a year earlier, it would have been, maybe that wouldn't have been the case where I was starting a lot. So yeah.
So it kind of worked out perfect timing then.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So you mentioned national team camp. How did that come about?
I don't know. So for youth, I think I first got called into U17s when I was like in grade 12 still. But there was no big campaigns for our year, as in like no World Cups were coming up or anything, but they had some camps just to, I guess, just kind of build that pool ahead of the U20s.
Hmm.
The U20 World Cup was happening in Japan in 2012. So that would have been my after my second year of university, if I'm doing that math correct. So the first time I got called in with the national team was like the senior team was in 2011.
Hmm.
Honestly, like I don't know why. I don't know if it was part of me feels like I was just kind of like filling in gaps because a lot of players at that time I know were with the NWSL, they were in playoffs or they were with NCAA schools and weren't going to be released for camp. So they needed players to obviously just fill the space and to have good training sessions. So I got called in, yeah, in 2011. Um, I went in like with no expectations to cap or anything. This was post the World Cup when USA had won.
Hmm.
And the USA did like this post World Cup celebration tour, which was going to be two games, one in Kansas, one in Portland. So Canada did a camp in Kansas. And then I ended up capping the game against Kansas, against USA. It was sold out
Oh,
stadium. So
this is
like,
for the senior team.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like it
I'm
came, honestly, like I was 18. It came about very randomly to me. Like when I got the email, I was very, very shocked. Like,
wow.
yeah, I was like, it's very like uncommon for someone to go to Canadian school too and get called up, especially at
Hmm.
that time. Like it was like the national team really pushed for everyone to go to NCAA schools.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I said, I have no idea. Very random. Like I said, I think I was just like a space filler. Like they didn't have enough players that were available at the time because of NWSL and because of NCAA.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so went to Kansas. Had no expectations to play. I was like super happy to like be on the bench and just this is the first time John Herdman had taken over the team as well.
Hmm.
So that's who capped me. It was in injury time, and I think I played maybe 4 minutes in injury time.
4 more minutes than a lot of other people.
I was like shitting myself. Because when he called my
18
name,
years
I was
old.
like, did he mean to call my name? Like, is this a joke? Because the game was not, it was tied 1-1 also. I'm like,
So a close game too.
I don't know if I'm the one to like change the momentum here, but I think honestly he was just being nice. Like, let's like give her a cap kind of thing. Yeah, close game.
So
Yeah.
how was the 4 minutes though? Were you influential in those 4 minutes?
I think I made two passes,
Okay.
um, and completed them both.
Perfect. There you go.
It was funny. We had like there was a team meeting. I don't think any single person on this team would remember this. Only I would because there's little details when you're younger that you
Of
remember.
course.
We had this team meeting and they like put up on the board like pass completion rates. And I was at 100% because
Just from the
I had
two.
just played two passes.
Wow, that's a special moment. So you that was the first game in Kansas and then y'all went to Portland?
And we went to Portland and then I didn't play that game. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I can't remember the score of that game, but I think we did lose that game. Yeah.
Okay. So during the training sessions in these camps, what were they like? Because this is, your first time with the senior squad. Did you see like just a completely different level?
Um, yeah, I mean it's very intense and the girls are as professional as it can get. So
Hmm.
I think for me, I was just really trying to learn and like absorb as much as I could. And at that age, like I wasn't very tactically sound by any means. Like I had so much to learn still, and like fitness level, like probably like definitely not good enough at that time. Like it was definitely a big jump for me. I just did not have enough experience to even like know what to expect going
Hmm.
in. Um, so I think I knew like when I was there, like really this is just like a learning opportunity for me. But yeah, a good experience for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then after that, you go back to university. Did that experience kind of motivate you, like, okay, I want to go back to that level?
Yeah, I think like just piggybacking off what I said before, like end of high school, I was very like, I don't care about anything. And then like
Hmm.
once I'd gone called up and like was in that environment, like being subbed on felt amazing. Like it's such
Hmm.
a euphoric like state of mind when you're like in such a big crowd, especially when it's sold out and it's a close game. And yeah, I think that definitely was like the first, I don't know what to call it, like fire in me that like ignited something to like push for a little bit more.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then from there, I got brought back down to the U20s ahead of their U20 World Cup campaign. So then I went to qualifiers with them, and then I did end up going to the U20 World Cup with Canada during my university time.
And how was that? How was that World Cup situation?
Yeah, really good. Again, I think it's grown a lot since then. But that was also a really good learning experience for me. And it was hosted in Japan, which was super cool. And then some of those girls now like went on and are still on the national team today. So it's definitely cool to see their journey as well.
Hmm. So what happened after the World Cup? You went back to university and finished your time there?
Yeah, went back to UVic and just finished playing. I think I had 2 or 3 more years left of
Okay.
eligibility. Yeah.
So after that, when did you decide like you wanted to go pro? Because you have all this experience with the national team. I feel like that should just indicate, yeah, I'm good enough to go pro. I don't know like where, what country and stuff, but how did you figure that all out while at university?
I think it still took me a while to be like, okay, like I can go abroad and play pro. I think I didn't really realize like what like how can I do this? Is this possible like for a while? I think it was within maybe my senior year and then even a year after that because I did take an extra year to finish my degree
Mm.
um and was no longer playing university. Um yeah, I think it just took me a while to even realize that that was something to do because obviously the Northern Super League wasn't a thing and there was
Right.
no play in Canada at all. Um, so yeah, it took a bit to kind of figure that out. And because I'm half Polish, I was like, I really want to figure out if I can get eligibility, my European eligibility sorted before I try and go overseas, just to make the whole process easier for clubs as well, and to because that's always nice when they can not deal with visa players as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To have that EU passport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine right now underneath this little desk. The
Yeah.
red one.
Oh,
Yep.
it's very helpful.
Yep. So where did you go first when you decided to play professional?
My first contract was in Japan.
Oh, you went back to Japan after the
Yep.
World Cup.
Yeah. About would have been 5 years later.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you went to Japan and played.
Yeah,
I've
that was
okay,
my
talk
first
to us about
contract.
that. How was that? I've never talked to anybody that's been over there and played.
Yeah. I actually went and once I hired my agent, he got me a trial. So it wasn't uh like a quick done deal. So I went
Mhm.
over to trial. I was there for about 10 days, I think. They just were so technical there. And the speed of play was like incomparable to university.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like I think I'm showing enough, but like I don't really know because
Yeah.
I consider myself a somewhat technical player, but when I was there, I'm like, I'm not that technical.
Damn.
Not that technical compared to these girls. So, yeah, but then after that trial, I flew back home and then they offered me a contract and then I flew back and I joined during their transfer window, so I spent 6 months there.
Oh, wow. And did you know anybody out there, or was it just all new people and everything?
Yeah, nope, didn't know anybody.
Wow.
There's one other international. She was American. She also signed a contract, and the rest of the team was Japanese.
So how does it work when in the locker room? Was it coach Japanese too?
Yep.
So how does that work language wise?
It doesn't. I I just don't talk to anyone except like me and the American teammate became very close naturally because
Hmm.
kind of we only really had each other to lean on. Yeah, I'd say that was the hardest part for sure was the language barrier. I think I
Hmm.
went in thinking that people knew English more than they did, but
Hmm.
especially where we were located, which was like an hour outside of Tokyo, which is considered a little bit more countryside in Japan.
Hmm.
Yeah, not a lot of people speak English out there for sure. During
Damn.
meetings and stuff, we had translators, but
Hmm.
yeah, I kind of picked up on like basic terminology like while I
Yeah.
was on pitch, but yeah, that was mentally it was mentally a lot to listen to another language consistently and like not really ever know what was going on.
Right. Right. So life off the pitch out there, what was that like?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't get a lot of time off, but we always have like one day of the week to be completely off and explore. So
Hmm.
yeah, me and my American teammate explored Tokyo frequently, and yeah, it's a very, very cool country. Lots to do.
Yeah, I haven't been. I gotta get out there because it looks
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah, very, very cool.
So after the 6 months, did you like want to stay or did you want to try something new?
I think like so at that was my first contract, and I didn't
Hmm.
get a lot of minutes, which is
Hmm.
something I wasn't used to. So a part of me thought, okay, maybe I stay one more year and I'll be able to get more minutes and develop a little bit more.
Hmm.
But I think I wanted to find somewhere that I would have a better chance of getting more playing time.
Hmm.
Um, so then from there, I transferred to Sweden for 2 more years.
Oh, completely opposite. So over to
Yeah.
Sweden. Okay. So you get to
Yeah.
Sweden and you're there for 2 years, you said?
2 years, yeah.
Okay, so what was Sweden like?
It was really cold at
Hmm.
first. That was the first time I'd experienced a winter like that because Vancouver doesn't really get harsh winters at all.
Define that. Define because I feel like in Canada it get cold, especially up there too.
Well, where I am now, Calgary gets really cold.
Okay. But in
East Coast
Vancouver it
gets
doesn't?
cold. Vancouver's quite mild. Yeah.
All
Like
right.
sometimes maybe you'll get to like -10.
Minus 10 Celsius?
Yeah.
Oof. That's still cold. That's still
It's still
cold.
cold, but for I mean, now that climate change has been such a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
thing, like Vancouver, maybe it'd snow and then the next day it would melt. Like it wouldn't be
Okay.
that bad. We just get a lot of rain. But Sweden, when I first got there in preseason, it was like -30.
Jeez.
So I was like, not okay.
And you were there, you made it out for 2 years out there. I guess you got used to the cold, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I did get to go home like during the off season a little bit, but yeah, you
Okay.
get used to it. Like by the time it was April and we were starting league, there was still snow like shoved on the side of the pitch.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Nah. So how was the league out there? What was the play like out there?
It was competitive. It was
Mm,
enjoyable. It helped a lot that everyone in Sweden speaks English, so I think that helped just from like a connection
mm,
aspect. My team particularly had like 6 or 7 internationals as well, so I think the camaraderie was really good. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it enough to stay again for another year,
mm.
so yeah,
And were you playing more this time?
yes, I
Mm.
was playing more, so that was
Okay.
also good.
Yeah. So you were there for 2 years. So you're in Japan for 6 months, 2 years in Sweden. What's next after Sweden?
And then COVID was next.
Damn, and that shut the whole world down.
Yeah. And I was really struggling with like some chronic knee pain by the end of my 2 years there.
Mm,
I think like just for a basically up until that point, like I hadn't really taken any time off since university. And
okay.
obviously during university, you're like pushing, I'm playing in the summers. So I think like all of that really just caught up with me. And by that
Mm,
time, I want to say 26 at that time. Um, so I had every intention of going back to Europe, but then when COVID happened and I was not really getting a hold of this knee injury, I like stopped playing for 2 whole years during
you
that
took
time.
2 years off
Yeah,
for the knee?
just in general. Yeah,
Wow. So
yeah.
would you call that like a mini retirement?
Yeah, I think during that time, I mean, once like months had gone by and I picked up a full-time job,
Oh,
um,
wow.
I was like, yeah, I guess I'm done playing. I didn't really, there wasn't like an announcement or anything like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't think about it. Yeah, I just stopped playing 2 years.
All right. So, what made you want to get back into playing during this, semi-retirement full-time employee?
I had no intention during that time.
Okay,
I
so you thought you were done.
Yeah, I thought I was done. Was working full time. I had met someone during that time. We had moved in together, so life was pretty normal, I guess, for
Yeah.
an athlete. Um, but then I finally started playing again, but it was just local with a local league with some university alumni teammates, and we were just having fun. That was after 2 years off, so I kind of slowly started getting back into it, but it was like one game a week, trained twice, maybe in that week. It
Hmm.
was no one was that committed to it.
Hmm.
Um, and then the Philippines national team had reached out to me randomly, asking if I wanted to come to camp. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was super random. And
So
then,
out the blue, you're not even playing professional.
nope, nope.
Never had any contact with them previously.
I did have contact with them in 2017 when I was playing out my first contract in Japan.
Hmm.
Um, But at the time, I really wanted to focus on my professional career. And because I had capped for Canada, I didn't actually know like how it all worked. And I was just I think I was a little bit scared to even think about it. Like, I'm like, I don't know what the eligibility is like and how that all
Right.
works. I kind of just like said no respectfully and shoved it under the rug and never thought about it again. But then they'd reached out again. And yeah, it just had been so many years since I'd even been with Canada. So I was a little bit, and I think I just had a little bit more maturity at that time and actually re like inquired like what does that look like if I am going to switch federations, or if that even counts because it was so long ago. What's the
Hmm.
eligibility process like? But then I also said, just so you know, I don't know if you think that I'm playing professionally or if you've like gotten some information wrong, but I don't play professionally anymore. So like knowing what the international standards like, I straight up was like, I'm not gonna be the level
Yeah.
wise or technically like it's gonna, I don't know if there's even worth taking a look at me because that I'm not gonna be at my best.
So you were
Um,
brutally honest.
yeah, I was like
Mhm.
straight up, I'm not gonna be good. So I don't know who told you what, but I'm not at the level.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they just said, well, when they had reached out, there was maybe about a month and a half until the camp.
Okay.
Um, and they just said, look, if you want to come, like, just come and like see how it is. And then my partner at the time, I was kind of explaining this to him. And the camp was going to be in Australia. I was living in Victoria, BC at the time. Um, and it was a pre-camp for a tournament called the Southeast Asian Games, which was going to be in Vietnam. So there was potential for me to be gone for a whole month if I were to do well in the pre-camp and then make the roster for Southeast Asian Games. So I'm explaining this to him and I'm like, this is stupid, right? Like, I'm not gonna go to this. And he's like, why wouldn't you go? And I'm like, I
Yeah.
just don't want to embarrass myself, really.
Hmm.
Um, and then I decided, okay, whatever, let's just go. And then I like just put my head down for a month and a half and really just like ran myself to the ground. I'm like, there's only so much I can do in like the team football environment, but I'm gonna just trust my ability to come back to me. But
Hmm.
I need to be conditioned if I'm gonna go into this camp. Like my body needs to be able to handle that load. So went to camp. Um, I guess did well enough and made the roster for Vietnam. And yeah, I mean, the rest is history from there. My life completely changed after that.
That's insane. So out the blue, they go ahead, hit you while you're retired, right?
Yeah.
And you take about what, 6 weeks to get fit,
Yeah.
go out there, do well enough to make the roster to go to that little tournament. How was that tournament and that experience?
The tournament was crazy. It's a
Mhm.
I don't know if you know much about the Southeast Asian Games. It's not that known
I
like
do
on the side
not.
of the world, but it's a huge turn. It's like a mini Olympics for that region.
Okay.
So all of Southeast East Asia is there. Multiple different sports you've probably never even heard of or seen. So
Damn.
it's a lot of fun. The stadiums were like full. Vietnam
Mhm.
like really does support their home team, so we got to play Vietnam, and yeah, it was crazy. We won bronze, which is like the first time the Philippines have medaled since I don't know, maybe years ago. Like long time ago they got bronze, but it was just because there was three teams, so they just like got bronze just because. But it was the first
By
time,
default, yeah.
yeah, by default. But it was the first time the Philippines had medaled in men's or women's football. So that was, yeah, kind of a crazy like first time campaign with them.
So yeah, that's your first campaign with them, and you get a medal out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. After being retired for a couple years?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Every time I like get asked this a lot, like how did this all happen? Just like, yeah, just something crazy just kind of happened and then life was different.
That's amazing. Okay, so that happens. I guess that kind of gives you more of a reason to, all right, let me get back to the game and play professional again.
Well, yeah, so the Philippines had already qualified for the World Cup
Okay.
from that point, and the World Cup was going to be the following year. So this happened in 2022. The World Cup was in 2023. So I was like, okay, like I mean, that was super fun. Like I really enjoyed that whole experience and pushing myself and being challenged in the environment. So I was like, I need to play pro again if I really
Hmm.
want to give myself a chance of making this World Cup roster. Um, so I I was going to be playing in another tournament that the Philippines were hosting, another big like Asian tournament, um, which was maybe like a month or two after the tournament we just played in. And the
Hmm.
pre-camp was going to be in Europe, which is the first time the Philippines was ever going to play a friendly against a European side.
Hmm.
So I knew that tournament was going to be a good platform for me to potentially have professional teams watch my games.
Hmm.
At the time, like I think just given my experience in Sweden and Japan, I really wanted something different and somewhere that's spoke English because my intention was to like bring my partner with me and he wanted to be with me as well. So my national team coach at the time was Australian and he like had connections with A-League teams. So one of those clubs that was going to be about to like have their inaugural season in 2022 had reached out like saying that they needed a central midfielder. So he had just recommended me, and then during that tournament, the coach watched me play, and then I landed a contract after that.
Wow, okay. And where was this?
I played the tournament in the Philippines, and then my contract was in Australia.
So, okay, so are you over there like permanently during this time? You got up and moved out of Canada, was in the Philippines for a bit, and then went straight to Australia?
Yeah, so I signed my contract. After that tournament, went back home, like packed up my stuff, knew I had another camp in Costa Rica, and from Costa Rica, I'd have to fly straight to Australia for preseason.
Damn, you were just all over the world.
No, like
That's
life, no,
insane.
literally life was just so crazy from that point on.
Okay, so you're in Australia the year before the World Cup.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
so how was that league and how was that team in your time over there?
I felt like it was it was a really competitive league.
Hmm.
And then like I said, the team was about to have the men's team had been around for 3 years, but the women's team was going to have their first season in the A-League.
Hmm.
So that was kind of exciting to be part of something from the beginning because I'd never done an inaugural season before. Um, my teammates were amazing, and I felt like level wise for me, like kind of going from 0 to 100, I felt like it was a good step for me to kind of throw myself back into it. Like by no means did I jump in and like felt like it was easy at all. Like it was actually very difficult for me to like get used to like being in a club environment again.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it was, yeah, it was a really good experience for me.
Okay. So during that year, you were there for a year, right?
I was there for two.
For 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Okay.
And it was very like when my partner at the time and I spoke about like what was happening, it was like,
Mhm.
okay, let's just like play pro for a year, like push to the World Cup, and then like I'll be back to like normal life.
So you're
Let's
gonna
just
retire again after the World
yeah,
Cup.
yeah, let's just like do this,
Okay.
like whatever.
Okay.
Um, but then during preseason, they had offered me a contract extension, which would have pushed me past another year past the World Cup.
Okay.
I was just like, man, sure.
Okay. Okay.
Let's do that. So, yeah, I already knew like once if I were to go to the World Cup, I was going to play for another year after that. It's just
Okay.
sometimes I think when like the opportunity is right in front of you, you're just like, sure, let's just do it. And I'm a very much like go with the flow like type of person.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, played the season in the A-League, and then I got called up to the World Cup roster with the Philippines.
So how was that? You played in a women's FIFA World Cup. What was
Yeah.
that whole experience like? What was the build up like? All of it.
Yeah. I mean, it was so much travel that year.
Hmm.
Like even the year before that, just preparing, really preparing against opposition and lots of first time things for the Philippines. Like we had someone that was really investing in our team and we had a coach that had formerly coached the Matildas, so he really knew like what was required to like even have the chance of competing with these like ranked nations because it was like a crazy thing that we even had qualified.
Hmm.
Um, like I said, like our first camp in Europe, Philippines had never played a European team before. So it was like getting those kind of experiences under our belt. Then we went to Pinatar Cup in Spain to get more European opposition. Yeah, every window was a lot of travel from Australia. So it was very exhausting, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, really good experience.
And where was that World Cup at again?
The World Cup was co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand.
Okay, so you were there while it was going
I
on
was
and
already
everything.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the World Cup play wise? How was that?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Hmm.
I just like couldn't believe I was there the whole time.
Hmm.
And it's like it requires so much preparation and then the tournament like it just goes by so fast. Like it's over in a blink of an eye. Um, yeah, we had three groups. We didn't get out of our group, but our group stages were hosted in New Zealand. That's where our base camp was. And we played against Switzerland was our first game. Our second game was against the host, New Zealand, and then third game was against Norway.
Damn, tough games.
Yeah, really tough.
Were your family, did you get your family out there to watch you?
Yeah, my mom and my brother traveled out, which was really, really nice. Yeah.
Damn. So after the World Cup, you have to do the last year in Australia. Was
Yep.
it okay, one more year in Australia and then you're done?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the World Cup like really lit something in me again because I was like, this just, I feel like our team impacts the Filipino community in such a big way. Like it's so much bigger than sport once you get and like feel that connection with the country, and know that you're representing something bigger. So I think once I was there and like once we sang the national anthem on the world stage, again, like first time the Philippines has ever done that on both the men's or women's side. Um, yeah, I think it like motivated me more than ever to keep playing. So I signed a year. I thought I was going to stay, but then the Northern Super League was officially going to launch, and then that's how Calgary Wild happened for me.
So once you heard about that league, you said it was over with, you want to play back in Canada?
Yeah, I knew that the league was supposed to launch in 2025, so I knew this when I'd signed my contract in Australia.
Hmm.
So in the back of my head, I was like, if I keep playing, like I've every intention to come back to Canada and like be a part of that league because
Hmm.
I mean, girls that are my age have been waiting for something like this for forever. I mean,
Hmm.
most of the girls my age aren't even playing anymore. So, yeah, it was something that I really wanted to be a part of. I just didn't know I mean, there was a lot of uncertainty. Like, what's the level going to be like? Are teams even going to want me? Like, we didn't know what the pay was going to be like. How professional is it going to be? So, a lot of uncertainty underneath around it. But once Calgary had reached out and I had discussions with them about everything, yeah, I knew something that I wanted to be a part of. It's pretty cool to be a part of not just an inaugural season, but like the whole launch of the league. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Brand new league in your home country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after the World Cup, have y'all had more camps since then? And have you been brought
Oh
back in
yeah.
there?
Yeah. We shortly after we had Olympic qualifiers. That's really difficult to qualify on the Asian side because only two teams go through, and most of the time it's Australia and Japan that go through.
Hmm.
But we did do that camp. We made like second round of qualifiers. And then we've been having the following year was a bit inconsistent with camps just because there was no campaigns that we were prepping for.
Hmm.
And sometimes like lower level federations kind of like let the training prep slip under the radar, unfortunately. But yeah, we had some camps, and then this year has been more consistent with the windows in
Hmm.
training. Yeah.
So have you seen the team overall grow?
That's a good question. I feel like it's hard to answer. I think the pool have players have expanded, but in terms of like competing against top nations, I don't know if we're there yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think we've grown that much since then, if I'm being completely honest. Maybe a little, but there's still such a long way to go for that
Hmm.
team. Yeah.
And the next big campaign is when?
The next big campaign, another Southeast Asian Games, is happening this December in Thailand. And then our big campaign is the Asian Cup is next March during preseason.
Hmm.
And that's World Cup qualifiers.
Okay, so this December, like in 2 months?
December is Southeast Asian Games, and then March is the qualifiers.
Okay, and I'm assuming your plan is to be involved in both those campaigns.
Yeah, hopefully. There's another window happening in about 10 days or so.
Hmm.
So I got called up for that window. And then hopefully from there I get called up for the next window. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So what are some of your kind of goals with, however many more years you play? Honestly, at this point, I feel like you about to be 40 and you about to play. The way this keeps sounding, like, oh, I might retire. Boom, I'm here for another four.
You know, people say that a lot. People say, "Oh, play till you're 40." I don't know. Like I said, I'm quite like go with the flow. I'm about to be 33, so I do have another year on my contract. So for sure playing until I'm 34, and then I think we're gonna just see how the body feels.
Okay, all right, get to
But again,
34 and then reassess.
well, the thing is too, like in March, if we qualify for the World Cup, then
Hmm.
I'd have to, that's not till 2027. So
Hmm.
I'd have to push another year after that if I want to
So
be that roster.
in March, you'll know whether y'all qualified or not for 27's World Cup.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I'm gonna circle back in March and we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so then, how about another question, real quick, about future aspirations, and then we'll get to the Instagram questions. What's, I guess, when it's finally done, not no more this 1 year retirement coming back, all that. When it's finally done, what's one thing you would like the soccer community to know to remember you by?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. I think I've always been like a silent leader. So I guess I'd want people to just remember me by my work ethic and by my leadership by example, to put simply. Yeah.
Okay, respect. Simple. All right, so a couple of questions over the Instagram page. They're more like get to know and everything like that. So, before a big match, who are you listening to get you kind of in that mode?
Oh, I've got like a game day playlist, so there's a wide range on there.
Okay. So, what are some names on there?
I'm gonna open it up real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
There's probably like people that I actually don't even know are singing the song, but I mean Eminem is like has always been my boy, so
Classic. Classic.
He's in there. I got a little bit of like older Lupe Fiasco songs. Sophie Tucker got some old school like DMX, Hayden
Damn.
James. Yeah. It's a
Okay,
wide
respect.
it's a wide range of vibes in here.
Hmm. All right, so you were saying that you were into fashion when you were younger. Is that
Hmm.
still the case right now?
Um, I think so.
Okay.
I just don't really like, I'm not educated in it by any means, but I do like to try and look fresh.
Okay. Okay. So
Try
talk
and
to me
like I
here.
have like a particular type of style, I guess that yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So then how about
Still
this?
interested
Go,
in it.
of course. So going into a big game, right? You want to dress the part. You want to, look good, feel good, play better, right? What's the outfit you putting on?
Yeah, the thing is I'm probably wearing like a sweatsuit for a game.
Oh. All right. So what's an event that you will actually put a good outfit for?
Maybe like if I'm going out, which doesn't happen very often.
Okay. All right. All right. But going to a game is just something calm,
Yeah,
relaxing,
I
or
like to be like comfortable before a match, and then after the match too. Like I want to be putting something on that I'm comfortable to wear to like after a game when I'm exhausted. Yeah.
yeah. No, I hear that. Because honestly, I feel like people don't really realize this. Because I've asked this question plenty of times before. They always say you're really wearing that fit for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Where people see you, because you in the car, right? You drive to whatever, you're
Yeah.
walking for the photos, and you immediately change it into your warm-up stuff.
Yep. Yep.
So really, it's just for the cameras.
No, it is just to get a photo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So some questions, and I've got this question a couple of times from the Instagram. Favorite dish from the Philippines?
Favorite dish?
Dish.
I love sticky rice. That is my
That's
favorite.
the one?
Yeah, that is the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And who is a player you kind of like modeled your game after?
I mean, I wouldn't say modeled the game,
Try to, try to.
but like I love Kira Walsh, like from the female side. I love the
Mhm.
way she plays, and I feel like she's very underestimated. Um, and from the male side, I've always been a big fan of Kevin De Bruyne and Luka Modric.
Well, two
Just that,
ballers.
yeah, and I feel like my favorite players are now retiring, so or like on that verge. So
We're getting, I guess so. We're getting to that part in our life where those guys are gone, these young guys are coming in.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So, who was the hardest player you've had to face at
Ooh,
any level?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've been fortunate to play against a lot of really good players. I'm gonna think more so specifically like who I would be marking like on the
Yeah,
pitch
yeah, sure.
versus the players that were actually on the pitch.
Hmm.
Maybe Erin Cuthbert.
Okay.
Yeah, she plays for Chelsea in Scotland.
And when did you play against her?
I played against her in Spain in the Pinatar Cup.
And she was just giving you problems.
She's just like a very dynamic midfielder, smart on the
Hmm.
ball. Yeah,
Okay.
like lots of running for me.
Long day.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite goal you've scored in your professional career so far?
Favorite. Hmm. Maybe in the under 20 World Cup, I scored again the second goal against Argentina.
Hmm. How was
Maybe
it?
it was like a really good, the build-up play was really, really good. And I
Hmm.
remember like running from our 18-yard box and like following the play all the way up to the opposite end of the 18. And then our nine like laid it off to me and I just one time hit it and it went in.
Oh, you gotta give it a little bit more. Where was it? Like on the corner,
I
low?
was like, I think at the top of the 18, like corner,
Hmm.
somewhere around there. I
So it
have
was
a
a little
video
bit of a
of it
banger.
somewhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to send me that because we put up all goals and stuff on the page.
Okay, I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Perfect, perfect. What's been your favorite memory playing the game? And not even professional, like it could be youth days and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean it's gonna have to be the World Cup. It's
Yeah,
definitely my
no
favorite.
brainer.
Yeah, I can't. Like the first time singing the anthem, like it was so emotional. I think our whole team was crying. It's just like such a crazy feeling. Then you gotta somehow play a match after
Yeah,
that.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
Crazy. And
Yeah.
then what is, last question, we can end it right here. What's one kind of inspirational quote or something someone told you that kind of inspired you during your whole, honestly, your whole life? It could be on pitch, off pitch.
Damn. Uh, a quote? I don't know. Gosh, that's a hard one. I think like a big thing that coaches always talk about is just to like really not to take these moments for granted because they're right. Like they just really do pass you by. Like my whole university career just gone. Like my professional career. Like I know I'm at like the last couple years, so I think I would just say like yeah, really embrace like these moments even if like you're a bench player, you're not getting rostered and you're just kind of starting development because yeah, I think life after this really isn't going to compare to this lifestyle that we're living now.
Hmm. See, there you go. That's a perfect way to end it. Well, Jacqueline, thank you so much for hopping on, sharing your story, giving us your energy and all that. We really appreciate that. Kind of wish you a very blessed, healthy season, and we'll see you in the 2027 World Cup.
I hope so. I
And
hope
then
so.
probably for another 8 years at this point too, huh?
Oh God. Oh God. Someone stop me. No, yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was great to virtually meet you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll be in touch. I'll send you that clip if I could find it.
facts. Need that.